Hey you all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be going over all of the embroidery must-haves that you would need, especially when you're just starting out with embroidery. I'm just going to be sharing with you all the things that you would need, and in the link below I will share my Amazon storefront where you can purchase these items. So just keep on watching. So the first item that you will need is an embroidery machine, of course, and the machine that I use is a Brother PE800. It is a single needle machine and I purchased it on Amazon. So if you aren't familiar with this machine, I'll just go ahead and leave a clip in one of these sides just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So the first thing that you need with this machine are hoops, and this machine does come with a 5x7 hoop about this size. This is the biggest embroidery space that it has by default. However, you can purchase more hoops on Amazon, and I have a hoop package that I purchased and it came with 3 hoops. It came with this small one, and then there is a 4x4 hoop and also a larger hoop. While it does come with this size hoop that you can order, you would have to manipulate the machine in order to be able to have this much embroidery space. So we'll go into more depth with this larger hoop in another video, but for now I will leave, again, all of these items will be linked down below. Okay, the next item that you would need is stabilizer, and there are many different types of stabilizer. The first stabilizer is water soluble stabilizer. It's very thin, it looks like this, and this stabilizer goes on top of the fabric that you're embroidering on, and it just makes the image be more stable and keeps the stitches from sinking in. And the next stabilizer that I have is cutaway. It's the thickest type of stabilizer that there is. Looks like this. It comes in different sizes, but I just have these square sheets. It's very thick and you have to cut it away from the garment, if that makes sense. There it is. And typically that stabilizer is used with anything that you would wear, like shirts or fabrics that are thicker. And the next stabilizer, let me grab it. The next stabilizer is tearaway. This stabilizer, you can tear it away from the garment. Although it's not recommended to use this on shirts, I do use it on shirts because the cutaway can be very bulky behind shirts. So I like to just take 2 sheets and double it up and use the tearaway so that I can just remove it after embroidering. And it does come on this roll, and this was also purchased on Amazon. And the next item that you will need is some fabric. This is for if you're wanting to do applique embroidery, which I do a lot of applique, so I have a lot of different fabrics. So with your fabric, you will also need some heat and bond. And with this, you take an iron or a heat press and heat it to the back of the fabric. And I'll show you. It has like a glossy look once you heat it to it. And what this does is, after you embroider your shirt, you will take your heat press or your iron and then press it so that this fabric adheres to the shirt. The next item that you will need is a heat press, an iron, or I like to use this mini iron. It's very handy for appliques or small shirts when you have little small applique items. It allows you to get into those little small spaces versus with an iron or heat press, it may be a little bit more difficult. And the next item that you would need is some spray adhesive. This is used if you are using the floating method when you hoop your shirt. I will go into more depth about the floating method versus the traditional hooping method in another video, but if you are wanting to hoop with the floating method, you would need some spray adhesive. The next item that I like to use is pre-wound bobbins. This is optional, but it is very recommended in my opinion. Here are the bobbins. So if you have any idea about like sewing or embroidery machines, you would need a bobbin with thread on it, and the pre-wound bobbins make the sewing much more convenient versus having to wound up your bobbins. The next thing that you will need is some extra needles, and the ones that I use are the Oregon 7511 needles. These are the extra that you will need, and you can swap your machine out. If your needle gets dull or breaks or whatever, you'll have extra. So it's always good to have extra needles. The next item that you will need is applique scissors. This is very important for when you're wanting to do appliques. They're small and they're also curved. So when you're cutting out your fabric or the excess fabric, it makes it a lot easier because the scissors aren't so big. The next item that you will need is a junk drive. This is for loading your design files on. And you can also insert this inside your machine so that you can actually embroider the design. And the next item that you will need is, of course, thread. And I got these in a case off of Amazon. I really love these. These are I'm not even really sure what brand this is, but I like this thread a lot. Then the next thing that you will need is Tender Touch. And what this is, I'll show you. So here is a Tender Touch, and what you do with this is you cut out a space about the size of where you embroidered on the shirt or the blank. Typically it's just used for shirts, and you heat it to the shirt, and it just prevents it from having that scratchy feel, and it makes it more comfortable to wear on your embroidery items. So you have that. And then the next thing that you will need, of course, is your blank or whatever item that you are going to be embroidering on. This is a bib that I purchased from AR Blanks. So my favorite websites to buy blanks from would be ARB Blanks, AJ Blanks, and Blanks Boutiques. They have really high quality blanks, and I will just link those down below to where you can find blanks for your embroidery. And then the last thing that you will need, of course, is software. And software allows you to upload and edit your designs that you can purchase from Etsy or other design websites. And the software that I use is Embroidery. It does have a learning curve to it, but once you learn the logistics of it, it's very simple to use, and it makes the embroidery process much smoother. So that is all for this video, you all. I hope you all enjoyed this intro to what you would need to get started with your embroidery, and leave a comment down below on what you would like to see next. And I thank you all for watching. Bye.